Okay, so here we are in beta or beta. As you can see, this is the new scorecard. Clicking on a camp now, it's only got one defense up. Okay, you can see that there are 2 defenses to choose from in this configuration. Let's get a tower. Riveting. And Daddy and Son combo here. Thought might do well on walkers, but I don't know if it's as good as Andrea. Might be too much zigging, and if I had a splash for Kenny, it might be better. Or both of them, actually. I don't care. A team for here. Alright. Okay, this is the one dude playing here. I'll hit him first. His team's rubbish. I bet I can beat it with this. But as you can see, you get in this configuration, which is 2x3 lives, there are 6 lives total, 3 per team. There are 2 teams to attack, and as you can see, Mercs now have mythical fighters. Not that it really matters. Some of them can be annoying, like if there's a Mercer, you'll get reflect damage, so you might want to look out for that. There you go, there's a Mercer. Of course, he can't kill Kenny, but he can kill Duck. What else is there to say? Being able to see the teams laid out like this is obviously an advantage for attackers. And having to create 2, 3, up to 4 teams, including tower, it'll be 5, which is kind of cray. Possible, but a bit much. That means that unless you're facing tops, even if you're facing tops, you'll probably find weaker teams to attack in every match that you're in. If you've ever been in a match where you're not scoring well, or you're not scoring anything, that should be ameliorated. That should be it should be easier to get some points or more points than you usually would in a low scoring or a non-scoring match. It sort of lowers the bar of accessibility for everybody. I mean, these are all mercs, so it's not really a very good test. Also, the cooldowns in beta are so annoying, and I think it's just because it's just running through mercs is so quick. And yeah, so I'm not entirely a huge fan of this change, because what this means is you can never run anything surprising. You can never change your defenses dynamically halfway through a match. You might go, okay, I've got this one team, let me switch to a different team to attempt to get more some defense, you know. And I don't really like that. That's not, as a person of limited resources in the game, it's very difficult to get defense at the best of times, especially if you're competing with people who are spending a lot. So very often I would be making up for my lack of having the greatest and best defense tunes by doing something unusual or strange or surprising, you know, or clever even, I suppose. Not to say I'm a smarty pants or something, but, you know, just doing something a bit off the beaten track. Because a lot of, you know, the teams you see are very, very, very similar. Yeah, so that's my major gripe with it. I think like I say, the bar will lower on who can usefully play in every match. It won't be like you're always hoping for a weak team so that you can score. It will be everyone we see, there should be points I can get. You might not win, you know, but you might be able to take out half of their defences, whereas before you might be struggling to take out one. You know, say in the current defensive climate, you know, if you hit walkers, they've got one amazing defense, you know, perfectly built, all the best weapons and mods and weapons in the game. Did I say weapons twice? I might have done. Now you'll face that, but you'll also have a menu where they'll have their second best team and their third best team, or up to 4. So you know, it's impossible to make them all as good as each other. That might change in the future, but right now, impossible. So if you say, oh well, I'm crap at Paria teams, but I can handle PAM teams, you can choose a PAM team. Or if you go, oh well, I don't like PAM or Paria, but I could maybe handle a Tara, you know. And then within that, there will be variability of how good someone's PAM team is versus how good their Tara team is. You know, they're not all built equally. Also, having to stretch resources among various teams offers some oh, I shouldn't have killed him. It offers some strategic choice in that you can say, okay, I'll make one really good defense and bank on that keeping me alive and not getting beaten at all. in a kind of putting your eggs all in one basket kind of sense. Or you can go, well, I'm going to spread out some of my best characters and resources among all my teams, try and make them all equally kind of decent. Yeah, I think being able to see team compositions is quite a big deal for me, and it means that you will be basically looking at the team, thinking what are the counters, bringing those counters, and you're going to be losing far less. I mean, unless defences get so much more difficult, which of course they could now. So there's that possibility, but that's for the future. Since every successful hit, no matter the quality, counts as a life lost, that means you're not going to be held up in war so often by a super tank squad. You've probably seen these people around. They've got this mega whale defense, and they're in this really low faction. They're just basically holding you up for 20 minutes because your crew cannot hit them, or cannot hit them well enough to wipe them out, and they're taking tiny bits of damage for every hit, or indeed just defending, everyone except, maybe there's one hitter can take them for a few points, and they're just stalling you forever, and that will happen a lot less frequently, so I think that is a positive. It just makes defending a lot more difficult. It opens the door for lots and lots of defensive promos. I'm not sure who can afford to buy, half a dozen defense teams to make all their various defensives better. It's a bit, I don't know. Changing war seemed a bit unnecessary. I don't know, I think it's a mixed bag, basically. There are pros and cons. I just hope that it's as fun as it was, and there's still going to be room for people to be clever, and that it doesn't devolve into everything just being about pure power in terms of having the most promo defense tunes, the most premium mods and weapons and all that. I don't want it to do that. There has to be room in this game for people to play well and succeed, where people play against people playing less well. People not putting in effort. I think putting in effort, time, and some thought into it should be rewarded as much as putting money in. And if it's just going to be putting money in is rewarded, then it's game over for me, really. I'm not really interested in that. It's just boring, quite honestly. No one ever roots for the overdog, in a story. It's never no one ever roots for a rich guy who crushes the poor under his boots, do they? It just doesn't work like that. It's always you're playing against rich people, and against the odds, you know, trying to win against the odds there. That's the interesting story. And if that isn't, you know, if it's going to be a story of, oh, rich man wins because pay more, it's just not very interesting. Anyway, I think that's enough rambling. I'm wondering if I've missed anything. Since there are more teams on the ground, you're going to be faced with the dilemma of trying to clear them all as fast as possible, or going around and milking every team. I think that could be an interesting strategic decision, and one for factions to work out with each other. Yeah, anyway, we'll see how it goes. That's been about 15 minutes of rabbiting, so I'm gonna knock it on the head there. And if you watch this, thanks for watching, and leave a comment, like, etc. Alright then, everybody, take care.